Ink Blot team ventured to Hull to explore one of its most notoriously haunted pubs, Spring Bank Tavern.
My name is Mike Covell. I'm a local historian, author, researcher, writer. I'm here tonight for a paranormal investigation, see if we can solve some of the local history's mysteries.
Hi, I'm Karne. I'm a shareholder in the Spring Bank Tavern and I also work here pretty much full time.
I'm Will Stein. I'm the bartender here at Spring Bank Tavern. I started working here about 5 months ago.
Mostly when you come to events, it's full of people. You know, it's obviously quite noisy. During the day there is things that happen. We hear things, we see odd things moving, but on an evening the atmosphere changes and it becomes very heavy.
It's sort of as it creeps up towards 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, there's like a shift in atmosphere where you're generally quite happy and then there's something different on during the night as opposed to during the day. Like you just want to leave when you lock up.
Oh yeah, what time is it right now? Because I think it is exactly 3 minutes.
3 minutes past 10.
I believe we will find something. Just on the few incidents where I've been in here, I've experienced quite a strange feeling in the men's toilets of all places, but also as well on the last History and Mystery night we did. I was stood on the stage, which is just off camera, just over my left shoulder, and the spotlights kept coming on, but they were really bright and kind of red and green and not like your normal spotlights. So I mentioned it to Karne, and Karne came over to investigate, and they were switched off. So that was quite weird. And multiple eyewitnesses were in the crowd, were in the audience waiting for me to begin, and they all saw those lights coming on and going off, so that was quite compelling.
Hi, I'm George and I do the handiwork in the pub, doing decorating and things like that. I think seeing and hearing is believing, like tonight might prove it.
There's been nothing like a full-scale paranormal investigation where we'd set up multiple cameras, multiple devices and have multiple people in the building going around and investigating.
So this is a first?
Yeah, this is a first. A couple of EMF detectors. People believe that spirits give off EMF, so the EMF detectors will detect if there's any EMF in the atmosphere. They're quite interesting if we keep them sort of static and ask questions, and if they start lighting up when there's nothing near them, then we know we're onto something. I brought something called a REM pod, which is sort of, you have to physically touch it for it to go off. So we'll be using that. And also, my favourite devices, cat balls. And these are really interesting because they light up when they're knocked or flicked or touched or anything like that.
Activity started early in the night, as during the interviews, Kiran noticed a strange sound, which to him sounded like a chair scraping across the floor, but no one at that point was near any of the furniture.
Anything else that you want to say?
Chair. It's clearly a chair on the floor.
Yeah.
It's quite long.
That was actually quite loud, wasn't it?
So you have to wait
So basically,
you'll hear it.
the idea behind this kind of device is
Like a chair.
Do you think it's worth just
Even the EMF readers were peaking as Mike was discussing the history of the building.
It just keeps... Nothing changes and yet it goes off. And he did it when you said things like inquest. Well, it's not doing it now because why would it? At Spring Bank, and then when you mentioned the staff, it went crazy.
That's where I was stood when I did the Alice box on Tuesday.
Okay.
And we got some weird stuff.
So it's sort of like responding to you there.
Yeah, for some reason it was only me who would respond.
Do you want to come here a second?
Were you around?
Do you like cat?
Do you want to speak to me?
Don't speak to anybody this evening. It just does it, but it doesn't sometimes. You can't keep watching it, seeing, but
Yeah, I say let's do it.
With unexplained phenomena already starting, the team wasted no time. They set up their equipment and began the investigation. Gemma, Karne and George stayed upstairs with the Alice box, monitoring responses and any occurrences, while Jay, Kiran and Ben went down to film the basement with Mike and Will. We have synchronised the footage for this part of the night, so the questions asked downstairs can be seen clearly influencing what happened up in the bar.
So, if there's anyone down here with us, would you like to make yourself known? We've got these devices on top of the beer barrels. If you could make one of them move, that'd be fantastic. So, I mean, there would have been inquests and things like that held in the property. And then where we are right now, we're quite on level with where the spring ditch would have been, which would have been a vast flowing water source that delivered water into the city centre. In close proximity to this area, we had quite a notorious murder in 1871 when a lady was found with an axe embedded in her head called Emma Starkey, just round the corner. At the other side of the property, it was badly hit during World War II. There were several fatalities in there, including Susan Wood and her family. And then on Spring Bank itself, there's been a number of quite ghastly tragedies over the years. So there's quite a lot of darkness within this very small area. The spring ditch itself was the scene of a morbid incident where a young lady took her little child into the ditch and she drowned the baby and then killed herself. So we've got a lot of tragedy in this area. There's a lot of death, a lot of darkness, and it'd be interesting to see if we could get some of these people to come forward and communicate with us.
So I was going to ask, do you know any of the names of these?
Well, there was one called Elizabeth. So if Elizabeth's here, you want to come forward?
Elizabeth, we keep getting the name Elizabeth. Oh my god, it's Sean Graduate, isn't it? Elizabeth lived here, do you know when? 1870, I think.
What was that noise?
Is that normal?
I mean, there are pumps and stuff, but...
There are pumps, but no one...
Are they all off?
All the gas is off, the chiller's off. So unless it's just settling, but it's been off since...
If that was you, Elizabeth, that made that sound, can you do it again for us, please? Emma, are you here with us? I only visited your grave last week. Went to pay my respects. Went to see you.
What happened to Emma?
Emma was murdered. She had an axe embedded into her head. She was only a young girl. She was walking home on Coy Street, which is just around the corner, and someone ran up behind her and put an axe so deep in her head it took 6 grown men to pull it out. And she's buried just down the road in the cemetery. Her family still live in Hull. So, but I wrote a book about Emma and her story.
When was this?
1871.
Wow. How old was she?
She was only 20.
Oh wow. Do they know the murderers?
No, it's still unsolved. So Emma, if you want to come forward and maybe tell us who did it, there's a device upstairs that's got words on it and you can talk to it. Perhaps you can give them a name.
So, would somebody be able to explain what the Alice box is?
The Alice box is, it sort of runs so the spirits can actually put their own words. They can talk through it, can't they? It's like a communication.
So you've used Alice boxes before?
I was one of the first people to use it. I used it like back in 2015. The idea behind these kind of devices is that they will listen and pick up words from things that have been spoken. Now, the weird bit is when it comes in relation to property.
Mm-hmm.
When those
When
words
it all
fit,
syncs up.
that's when it becomes interesting. And I've used it in quite a few locations where it's synced up with history.
And there's different Alice boxes, like people have like a radio one that I've heard of.
Oh, so the Alice box is like a standalone.
So this is an axe.
Yeah, it was designed by a friend of mine actually.
So this, you were in here when you had that incident as well, weren't you?
Yes.
Can you describe it?
Just a bit weird.
I can see now how short that is.
Yes, yeah.
Did you live in this property?
That was me, by the way.
Did you work in this property? Did you die in this property? Do you like us being down here? Would you like us to leave?
The staff recount paranormal experiences that they've had.
When we first came in, we was decorating. Myself and my husband were in. Both experienced the same things but never mentioned it. We would hear somebody knocking, like knocking on the door would open, you'd hear footsteps, heavy footsteps, and it was like somebody literally came into the pub, but there was nobody here. Last week, actually, in the toilets, the men's gents toilets, which are the original ones, I was cleaning and a shadow actually passed me and I saw the shadow across the floor. So there's lots of different things we've seen and experienced, and I've heard ghost voices or voices calling out to where we actually think it's another member of staff.
When I first started, I'd only done a couple of shifts and I was down in the cellar. I was moving some barrels around and then I heard something above me, so I stopped and it sounded like somebody was walking around upstairs. So I popped my head up and had a look around. Nobody was there.
I think it was around July, August time. I was decorating the bar and I had a scraper on the table, and as I was there, it just come off the table and on the floor.
Would you ask out? Because this is your sort of territory, this is your sort of turf. They'll be more familiar with you than they will be with me. I'm not as regular as you are.
God, here we go. Can you come forward? You said a couple of words to me last week on the spirit box. Were you trying to scare me?
What were those words?
It said yield and subject.
You could ask if they still want you to yield.
Do you still want me to yield?
At that point, Karne noticed the outside light inexplicably turning on.
You shouldn't come on in our yard because nobody can come in.
Do you like the staff? Do you like the staff being here?
Okay, it shouldn't unless something actually comes into our...
Very quiet. Thank you.
Okay, we can just confirm I moved away from that area at least about 30 seconds ago. Oh, hang on. That
The EMF.
EMF just went.
Is that because I said you was quiet?
That was me.
I can feel you here. Can you make it go higher for me?
Karne then notices a light by the bar. We didn't notice this show up on our footage, but she proceeded to investigate.
What did you say the names were? There was Emma.
Anna.
Who else?
Elizabeth.
Light at the end of the bar.
Or is there someone else in here?
Upstairs we've got the name Jess.
I know they had inquests in here where we are now, of people who have died or whatever, suicide and all that. And I learnt a lot from there were volunteer work in the cemetery, the old one, where there are a lot of stories in there what I've put into the walls now, you know, in photos and things.
Spring Bank's really interesting because this would have been where the spring ditch was. This would have where fresh water would have been fed into the town. So the property was built adjacent to the spring ditch. So there's lots of old reports from sort of the 1840s onwards of people coming here to stay when it was a hotel, people drinking here, but also things like inquests and stuff like that. There was a couple of quite notorious incidents where people were coming here for inquests, which was quite common back then in the Victorian period. Most local pubs offered inquests. But if you think about it in today's terminology, it was quite weird in that back then they would have brought bodies into the pub for people to look at. So we've come to see you, and it would be awesome if you could do something for us. Are you afraid to do something? Are you worried of what might happen?
So it's back. You see it then, and then it goes.
They're not here to hurt you.
I'm trying not to move my hand too much. You see it now? If you look down here, it's low down. Just keep watching around there, George. Can you see it?
Yeah.
You see it now?
Yeah.
And there's nothing. If you look, there is nothing. It's just pitch black down there.
Got the word interrupt. Got the word interrupt.
Something very comforting over here. Yeah, it's like a sense of kindness, but also reassurance.
It's like warmth.
That's it, it's warmth. It feels like motherly.
Yeah.
Maternal.
There was a female landlady here for many, many years.
Yeah. It's quite an emotional feeling. I don't really want to move from it because it feels quite it's quite comforting up here.
You look quite comfortable.
I feel really comfortable. I'm sat on a stone floor at 10:30 at night, and it's the most comfortable place in the world right now.
And while you're saying all this, that EMF's going crazy on this. This one.
Yeah, is it?
Keep talking.
It is comforting. It is like there is I've lost something, and now I want to comfort you because that's something that I can do. That's something I did in life.
You said it was quite a motherly.
Yeah, like a maternal feeling. But there's that tinge of sadness. Almost like someone's lost someone and they're still full of affection and they just want to share it.
Are there any cases of mothers? I guess anything's happened to any mothers?
There is historically. There was a lady who had 6 children. She took one of them to the spring ditch and drowned the baby and then killed herself. There's been a number of suicides of ladies as well linked to the property.
It could be regret, it's just that there's a feeling of I want to comfort.
Definitely don't think it's just the one. Somebody often feels quite sad when they're around this area of the bar. You get a different feeling when you're towards the toilets. So I think there's definitely probably more than one.
More than one. Definitely more than one. There's different feelings. So some of the feelings are quite, I'd say, curious. Do you know, not threatening, but you know there's something there or there's something close. But then there's something here that seems not as friendly, like it's not happy that you're here. It's an old property, it's nearly 300 years old. Parts of the building are original, some aren't. Some's been added on, some's been knocked through. We do have some of the history, because the more things that have happened. We've done the Alice box, we've got names, and then we've tried to check back to, so there is different things we can actually put into history.
We have seen a couple of things like on CCTV. There was one notable bit of footage that we got, and it was as we were leaving the building. There was two sort of like orbs, but it wasn't orbs. It was like a head and then feet, and it sort of drifted along towards the window as if it was like watching us leave. That was really, really bizarre when I saw that.
We've got CCTV footage of orbs and actual shadows. We've had a shadow that actually passes through around the bar, and as it's passed the card reader onto the till, it's come on. It's literally come on, and it's been turned off and unplugged. It's not physically on, and as it's come back on again.
Listening to the stories from the staff and stuff like that, there's lots of areas worthy of investigation. There's been lots of activity reported throughout the building, not just in one place but in a number of different places, and it's not all the same sort of activity as well. You know, usually when you get buildings like this you might hear phantom footsteps or knocking or tapping. This seems to be across the board. There's problems with the electrics, things going on with the lighting and stuff like that. They've heard footsteps, objects moving, all sorts of different noises. And even noises where there shouldn't be noises as well. They've heard footsteps on certain areas of the floor where it's not possible to hear footsteps. So there's all those kind of things that we can investigate and look into and see if we can come to some sort of conclusion.
It's interesting that it was as active as it was when you were speaking.
Yeah, it was when you was talking about it.
Yeah.
Was that you affecting the lights?
We've got like the AUS. We've got the web hill. Oh, geez.
You're giving us that feeling of warmth, of love. Whoa, did you see that?
No.
This one in my hand.
Okay.
Was that you giving us that feeling? Thank you. Are you the lady who was the landlady here? Are you very protective over the staff? Are you protecting us while we're down here? You know, I'm sure as well the baby was a male.
Yeah.
And we're all fellas.
Yeah.
We are all fellas, yeah.
So, could be another coincidence, but do we remind you of your boy? Do we remind you of your son? The lady who was the landlady, she lost her husband as well.
Did you say this only was one word? Yeah. Why did it not?
So we've gone through that whole loss thing.
Thank you, because if this feeling is related to you, then thank you, because it is a kindness and it was much needed.
Maybe you remind her.
Yeah. Can I try talking?
I think you should keep.
You keep going, yeah. Keep telling us because it's.
Do I remind you of somebody that you lost, or someone that lost you?
Got Thomas. Not here me.
Have you got a lot of love to give? Is that it? Have you got a lot of love to give? Do you feel very strongly, do you feel a lot when you feel something?
Got 2 words. Please help.
It's quite a solid floor, this as well, isn't it? It's poured concrete.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, no one saw that roll or move. That was quite solidly on there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I haven't moved my legs from standing here. No one else has moved, so that's interesting.
There's loss somewhere. What's the word? Melancholic.
Yeah.
Melancholic. Yeah. It's bittersweet.
I'm pretty sure as well one of the articles had the headlines melancholic. Melancholic suicide, I believe, was the headlines.
We've got Van again. We had Van earlier.
Trying to think if there's anything else that we should be asking.
Were you familiar with the zoo? Did you know the zookeeper?
The lights come back on outside.
What's the story of the zoo?
So a female member of staff met the assistant zookeeper of the old zoological, which was just across the road from us, and he took her to a field not that far away and raped her.
Oh.
But they used a different word.
When was this?
This was the 19th century, so this would have been like 1850s.
Anyone there?
It's gone out.
I can't remember, it's upstairs on my tablet. It was sort of like, I guess it was a posh way of saying rape, basically.
Yeah, one of those ones they didn't want to admit it was.
Yeah, I think it was like...
It's cotton again. That's come up earlier.
Yeah.
Here are the articles Mike was referring to. They did indeed use the words melancholic and violation.
We've got excellent and shepherd.
It doesn't feel dark or oppressive or anything like that.
No.
I'd quite happily stay down here on my own.
Yeah.
To sit.
Yeah, it smells a bit mouldy, but
yeah.
Should we carry on? There's not much happening. If there's something going on, it may not be in this room. Seems to be responding. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm happy to move.
Yeah, probably.
With activity in the basement dying down, the team reconvened by the bar to report their findings.
Fall down the hole. He jumped over the bar at that side to see this live we recorded, and when he did, it immediately came up with "do not." And it's only supposed to say one word, and it said "please help" and "do not."
Okay.
Not done, but "do not."
Kiran and Ben's time was up, but the remaining team went on to their next eerie location, the courtyard.
I just saw someone running along there, and I thought maybe it was my eyes on there.
Well, I've just been filming it, so...
So where we are right now, we're just off a place called Hall Street, which is at the rear of Spring Bank. Now, if you've ever been along Hall Street, you will notice there's a very old Victorian fire station, and on the outskirts of that fire station, if you look up at the doors and the windows, you'll see heads of firemen and also horses. So if we follow me around this way, this is the entrance to what would have been their courtyard. We've just seen the courtyard, and then this here would have been their stable.
Well, let's go in.
Let's go in.
Oh yeah, this is scary and dark, isn't it? Oh well, yeah. Is that a brick?
Yeah.
Watch out for the brick.
According to the plans that were published in the 1870s, this would have been one of the stables where the horses would have stayed. There's a very interesting odour in here, and there's a lot of junction boxes and things like that. So in terms of using the EMF, I don't think it would really work in here. I think we'd get a lot of interference from all these devices that are on the wall. You can see all the green flashing lights and stuff like that. It's not coming up at the minute, but I expect if we walked over to those junction boxes, they'd go crazy. And this room now basically serves the flats and adjacent properties. It's quite eerie. People don't like coming into this room because they feel quite claustrophobic, and it's quite dark and overbearing. There's new things been added over the years. At the moment there are domiciles surrounding the courtyard, so we have to be super quiet in case, we don't want to upset the people, the residents that are living here. But yeah, it's a nice area. We're quite close to the city centre. We're not that far away from Spring Bank itself, but you'll notice that it's pretty quiet.
Anything much coming up on your phone?
Got moon and work recently.
Okay. Do you know of any specific things that may have happened here, or is just a...
Not so much here, but we are just round the corner from Coy Street, where the infamous Coy Street murder took place in the 1870s.
Can you give us a bit more information on that?
This is where a Mastaki was found with an axe embedded in her head, just round the corner, in 1871. So we're not that far away from that.
I'd probably say a feeling of not being wanted. Things start to piece together. We had a play around with an Alice box last week, and we started getting a lot of interesting words coming through. We got soldier and uniform, and they were all words that sort of connected to a story on the wall about a US Navy Marine called Henry. So I never really took notice of that until we started getting those words.
Very eerie sound of the wind.
Yeah.
That is. Isn't it? I was just going to say, is that a boy racer or is that the wind?
That's the wind.
What was that?
We've had a series of flashes from the EMF, strange words, spooky wind, doors creaking, lights going off. So there is kind of a strange atmosphere right now.
It is weird. I can't explain why this feels horrible.
Can we move? Genuinely?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't like it.
Because we're all huddled together and we're not exactly helping ourselves.
The next location was the Gents' Toilets, a place where several things have been seen and eerie feelings have been experienced. Would anything show itself tonight?
So people get a lot of corner of the eye phenomena.
Corner of the eye phenomena?
Yeah, when you see something out the corner of your eye. I always feel uneasy. I always go stand in that corner because I think someone's coming up behind me. So,
have you experienced anything strange in the bathroom?
I haven't. Karne has.
You've had footsteps on this.
I did hear something on Friday night. I was stood behind the bar and we were just locking up. And I just, somebody walking
walking through the corridor, turned around to look.
Did it sound like the footsteps were getting closer?
It was more of like a shuffle. There was only a couple of steps, but it was enough to make me turn around.
If there's anyone here with us now, do you want to come forward and make yourself known? Don't be afraid.
What did that say?
Ashes.
Ashes. Interesting.
The word ashes appearing on the Alice box may be a reference to a woman who burnt to death in the building, or possibly that it was an old fire station. Whichever it is, the theme of fire seems to be a recurring one.
Can I check, what was the gents before?
This will be the spirit room.
Spirit? Oh, I was in alcoholic.
Yeah, spirit
Sorry.
So it looks like it was once probably like a coal house.
Okay, so storage.
But that was 1874. When we hear the footsteps, it's Mike.
I'm having Haribo. Need my
It's been a long day. You need
Yeah, come on.
Is there another explanation? Like, could it be someone upstairs? Or
So these are false ceilings, and because it's like a music venue, there's actually, if you look, they're all different heights. They're actually insulated. So there's, I think, between the ceilings and the next ceilings about 2 or 3 foot.
Okay, so if someone was walking around up and down upstairs, they wouldn't. No way you'd hear it.
Anything.
Why do you keep mentioning Mike? What do you want with Mike? Do you want one of his Haribo?
Yeah,
You want to hold that if it's talking to you, and then you can...
Gasp several. Alfred, that was my granddad's name.
Oh wow. Okay.
Camera. That is what.
Finding one right now.
That is what's. Oh, it said several cameras.
Go on, Cal, now.
Several cameras. There is several cameras, that's right.
Can anybody smell that?
Still got the basement up my nose, to be honest.
Spoon.
We had spoon earlier.
Actually, I can smell that. It smells musty.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like a cold breeze.
Is that you, Alfred? You want to come and say hello to the group? Gone quiet now, I'm holding it.
I feel like something behind me.
Could you talk to? Could you hold up the EMF just so I can get it in shot and talk to whatever's behind you? You look terrified.
Person behind me, would you like to speak to us?
What were the names of the people? Did you say there was a Victoria?
Elizabeth.
Yeah, there was an Elizabeth. My EMF's going. Stopped now.
Elizabeth, are you here?
Above.
The very moment the word above came up, a light appeared above the bar, caught on the second camera. We've studied this and come up with no alternative explanations.
Are you above Elizabeth? Gail.
Gail, is it you?
Then from the other end of the bar, the CCTV footage caught another glowing light.
Density.
Thank you. Info glass.
Numbers turnover. Come on, one last chance for you to communicate with us before we all go home. Thank you.
questions that we could ask. Ooh.
Did you feel it?
Yeah, just left side of my body. Yeah, left side of me creeping over
So this side?
is very goosebumpy. It feels very strange. Yeah, it just feels goosebumpy.
Bad feeling.
Bad feeling.
It is a bad feeling. It is a bad feeling.
Cold.
Yeah,
It is.
I've gone literally goosey.
I've got
Yeah,
goosey
that's it.
and the hair on the back of my neck standing up. That is really horrible. It's not cold, but for some reason I'm getting goosebumps. I'm not cold, and I'm wearing a t-shirt, so I should be cold. But I'm not cold. It's just I'm getting goosebumps. It feels like back of my neck. I can feel this horrible feeling on my back, and it's on my left side, and it's here. And it feels like a proper chill, but I'm not cold. It's weird.
Did somebody just touch me then?
Yeah, I've got it. So
You.
the sound of the somebody just come through the door to the courtyard because the lights on everywhere.
Right, okay. Like a resident or like a...
But there are people living there.
Yeah, so I'm trying to work out if
It shouldn't come on in our yard. The main courtyard light should come on.
It is here now.
It
We're
is.
just a little nosy, and we want to know more about you and what's going on, and more than anything, why you're still here.
Ahead.
Another strange pulsating orb was seen on the CCTV as soon as a head was mentioned. We have yet to explain what this is.
Oh God, yeah, that's horrible. I can feel it here now. This is horrible.
Yeah, it's like
Because
something.
there's a window there, so it's not. There's nothing going on with that window there, is there? It's not.
No, I've checked already. There's no drafts.
No draft.
I've done it already.
That's weird.
Is somebody walking round?
Farmers.
What's this one, sorry?
Farmer's story.
A farmer story. So are you the farmer who used to live here?
Look at the goosebumps on there. I can't get the.
Yeah, I
It's
can see.
horrible. Yeah, I feel like something's around me and it's weird. I don't like it.
Right.
Fireplace. Stars.
Fireplace.
Did I say that twice?
Fireplace and stars. Static.
I'm going to move towards the fireplace then, yeah.
Oh, I've gone absolutely freezing.
It goes to the fireplace.
Oh.
Do you want us to notice you?
Lick.
It's not happening.
Definitely not.
What did it say?
Lick.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, you can lick me. I'm fine with
Oh,
that.
no, stop doing
Lick,
that.
lick my ear, lick my arm. Look, my arms are exposed. I have, I'm not wearing a shirt. Absolutely. Happy for you to do that.
I don't feel right. Sat here.
How does it feel?
Heavy.
Yeah. Like static electricity on my head, round here.
Touching you.
Skip. My eyes feel real funny. I just don't feel right at all.
If you're not feeling very well, I suggest you leave.
Yeah.
There's no points to prove here.
Is there a child here?
Come and say hello.
There's a boy drowned, James.
Freezer.
Yeah, I'm getting that. Look
Really
look at
cold,
look at my arms.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. As soon as you said is there a child here,
I'm the same.
all the way around my back,
I'm the same. I'll go see.
I'm so goosey. Yeah, as soon as you said that, it felt like something had gone round my back. It's almost as if someone's like stroking your back, but they're not.
Yeah.
But
it's
your
like
body's
somebody's-
reacting the same way.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Oh, I feel red hot.
Yeah.
That's weird because I'm cold.
Oh, you are, aren't you?
How are you? Are you cold or hot?
I'm actually sweating.
I'm quite cold.
Is it because I spoke about the fire?
People.
People are here. Well done.
Was it people?
People.
Well, we are thinking of packing away and leaving, and we'll leave you to your whatever it is you do.
Rattling of chains. Can you please stay here tonight as well and not follow anyone home?
Flat.
Yeah, go to the flat.
You live in the flats, that's lovely.
Yeah.
They'll all be happy, won't they?
Whose is this one?
Will's in it.
Will's.
Yeah, it's Will.
What's that one?
Ben. Press.
Upstairs, a lady, which is the flat upstairs, a lady fell into the fireplace when she was pregnant and she burnt.
Oh wow.
Really badly and she died.
And the baby died.
The baby died. So if there's any spirits here, can we ask that you stay in the building, please? And that you don't follow anybody home tonight. Because we'll be back in the morning.
But we've had an interesting night, so thank you.
Thank you for having us in your home.
And we'll leave you alone and don't follow us, please. And just, yeah.
Put lights up well.
This concluded the very first paranormal investigation into the Spring Bank Tavern. Is it haunted? You decide.